Hi folks, in this video segment, I want to show you how one can do multi-instantiation of a part in an assembly within the 3D Experience platform. Now, those of you who are familiar with Catia V5, you know that there's a very simple way of doing this thing. And in the background, that same thing is buried within 3D Experience, but it's not obvious and intuitive on how to get there. Let me first remind you how it's done in CATIA V5. So there is, when you're in assembly design, there is a product structure toolbar, and towards the end, there is a sub toolbar which has two icons in it. One of them is called Fast Multi Instantiation, and this is the one that I'm going to be concentrating on. The other one is called the Defined Multi Instantiation. This has more control over what you do, but I'm not going to worry about it in this particular video segment. So the question is, where is it? Let me quickly go ahead and show you what the story is, and then we do an example together. So let's say that we are in assembly design and we make a part like that, and we want to create several copies of this thing instantiated in a certain direction. Uh, in order to do that, first you have to go all the way to the top, left double click on the top so that you are in the assembly design workbench or application. And then when you do that, put the cursor on the second line, the thing that you want to instantiate, whatever it happens to be. If this happens to be the one that you want to instantiate, put the cursor on it and left click. When you do that, you get this easy toolbar uh, which has the multi-instantiation icon buried in it. Now, when you click on that, when you select this thing lights up, which means that, okay, this is the one that we're going to instantiating. But what happens is that suddenly you get a bunch of them in a certain direction. And the question is, first of all, how do you know how many and in what direction? So the thing is that whatever you did the last time in the multi-instantiation, which obviously can change things. For example, if you make this thing 7, next time you do that, it's going to do 7 instantiation in the Z direction. Or whatever that direction was last time is going to be done there. So yeah, one has to be careful, and there's no mystery here. It's just that it remembers what was done last time and what direction, and it's going to replicate that. Now, so here's what you're going to get. So this is the original one, and these are the two instances that is created. Here is the help. Here's the help for Catia for the 3D Experiences platform for this linear multi-instantiation. It's called linear because well they changed instead of multi-instantiation, they call linear multi-instantiation. Now, when you want to do it in a certain direction, there are several ways of doing it. One is you create a direction, can be a line or it can be an object, an edge of something, another part, and you can select that and it's going to do it in that direction. Or you don't even have to make a part. You can create a axis, coordinate axis, and use its directions uh, to determine the direction. So I'm going to show you in a couple of examples how this is done. Okay. All right. So go ahead and go to 3D Experiences platform, and then we start with the assembly design. There we are. And for now, I'm going to just insert a 3D part, and then we're going to make it. So double click on the 3D shape, and on a convenient plane, for example, on this horizontal plane, I will sketch a rectangle and then pad. And we're gonna instantiate that in a minute. So there we are, and pad it. Good. Okay. So I want to create this thing, several copies of this in a certain direction, and that direction happens to be whatever I did the last time. And unfortunately, you would not know until you try. So you go all the way to the top. So you are in assembly design. Look at it right here, assembly design. So that is the slide that I'm referring to. Okay. Notice that it is selected. We are in assembly design. Put the cursor on the second line. Second line is actually means the thing that you want to instantiate, whatever it happens to be. This can be seventh, for example, a 3D part. You select that. But anyway, here I have one. You select it, and notice that this thing pops up. And what I'm referring to here is this. Left click on this, and that thing pops up. So let's go back there and do it again. So left click on this thing pops up. You click on it, and notice that what it did, it took 5 copies, because the last time that I did it was 5. Obviously I can change that. I can change this thing to 3 in the direction that was last actually instantiation with. So we say okay, and there we are. So original and the instantiation part. Okay. So let me do something else. Let me go ahead and actually create a 3-dimensional part for you. Let me undo this. Undo. Okay. And we go there, and we may insert another 3D part. Insert the 3D part. And in it, it can be a 3D object. It can be just a line, whatever. It makes absolutely no difference. But to be consistent with this schematic, I will make a what is that? Yeah, I will make a 3D part like that. Doesn't have to be, can be just a straight line in that part. So let me go ahead there, and let's make it. Double click on this, and on a convenient plane, whatever, this happens to be convenient for me. I'm going to draw a triangle because I want some edges of it that will be used later on for direction. So exit, exit. Yeah, and then pad it. Good. Okay, so I have a direction now. So I'll go all the way to the top, right here, all the way to the top, all the way to the top. This is the thing that I want to instantiate. Okay, that's the thing that I want to instantiate. You click on this, okay, and you click on that, and you select that direction. Notice that it did instantiate in that direction. Okay, and the number, whatever it happens to be the last time. So let's make it 4, for example. There we are. Good. Let me undo these things because I want to show you a different way of doing this thing. Where's that? Control Z. I want to get rid of this part. Actually, you have to go all the way to assembly and delete this. Delete it. Okay. I don't want to proceed. Good. There we are. Okay, we're back to square one. So now I want to insert a coordinate system instead of actually a 3D part for that triangle. So what I can do, I can go all the way here. There's several ways of doing it. One is go all the way there, right click, and then you say insert a 3D part, and in it just draw a coordinate system. Or there's an axis system here. You can see that. You click on it. It says, okay, I'm going to create a 3D shape for you. Uh, and do whatever you want with it. So I say create. Notice that that is the name. I'll call it dummy act. So I'll call it access system holder. Access system holder. Just a name. Holder. And I say okay. All right. Now notice that what it did on the very top, right after the assembly line, it created a 3D shape, and all it is in it is an access system. Now, right there, you can see that. And let me quickly remind you, how do you make these things bigger? Because, for example, I'm going to have a hard time seeing these things. Let me remind you, you go to tools. It's one of the, I think it's one of the, in one of the uh, playlist, which is called Tips on 3D Experience or something like that, which I'm showing how you do that. You go to Preferences, and then under Display, under this tab, Common Preferences, on the Object Properties, 3D Shape, Display, and there is the size of the axis system. Okay, so I'll make it like that. There, that's easy. easier. This does not have to be in this direction. You can actually rotate it if you want, so we have a direction. So suppose I want to take this thing and actually, remember, if I go, and try to instantiate this thing, it'll do it in the last direction, not in this direction, or not in this direction. Let's try it. So we go here, we select this thing that I want to instantiate, this one, and notice that what it did, it took that direction that I had for the triangle. Okay? And that's not what I want. So let me undo this. All right. So now we're going to do instantiate. What is that? So you select this, instantiate, but for the direction, let's do it in the direction X, for example. You see that? Now it's do it in the X direction. And from now on, it's going to be this direction until you change it. Okay? There we go. Believe me, these are not well documented in the context of an example, and I thought that it was worth looking at in this tutorial. All right, folks, good luck. From now on, remember, it's going to be 4 of them in this direction, okay? If you want to make changes, then you have to change the number and the direction as needed. Good luck.